Hello everyone, selamat siang, good afternoon. Selamat datang di WISH Online serial sharing session bersama Kampus Pen. Karena saat ini para narasumber kita berasal dari Spanyol dan Director Kampus Pen juga sudah bersama dengan kita, Mr. Gonzalo Martinez dan juga Miss Gosia. Jadi nantinya kita akan mendengarkan bagaimana caranya mendapatkan studi, mendapatkan tips dan trik untuk studi di Spain, baik itu dengan cara individu ataupun nantinya dengan program-program beasiswa yang ada di Spanyol ataupun untuk ke Spanyol. Dan saya ingin sampaikan sesi ini akan berjalan dengan bahasa Inggris. So this session will be started with English language. Okay. So I think we will start right now. So how are you guys? I hope everything is fine and well. How is it today in Spain?
Hello, how are you? Selamat pagi from Spain.
How are you, Mr. Gonzalo?
Too early here in Spain for this presentation. So things here are good. So I would like to say thank you very much to everyone joining us today on this online session. We are so glad of having these people that is looking forward for some information about studying in Spain. And the purpose of today's meeting is exactly this one, to explain how the situation is here in Spain and why Spain is a country that people should choose in order to study abroad. So I'm very happy that WISH invited us to do this presentation. Indonesia is one of our favorite countries. Actually, I'm wearing my batik today.
Yeah.
So Gosia, that is here with us, will be the one that will be sharing the presentation, and Zhillan, who is one of our students from Jakarta, is here to support our arguments because he is the one that can provide this objective information. So I don't want to take too long time. I prefer Gosia to start with the presentation, or you, Muhammad, if you need to do you want to do some other introduction, it's okay for us.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gonzalo. So I think we will strike ahead to Miss Gosia that will give an explanation and information about how to study in Spain and also some education program that available in Spain, whether it's scholarship, fellowship, or anything else. Okay, Miss Gosia, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Selamat siang. How are you doing, Indonesia? Right now I'm in Campus Spain office in Vigo, in Spain. That's also where Zhillan is. He is also in the Vigo city right now studying. He's finishing this week his Spanish LCA course. Thank you very much for having us. I miss Indonesia very much. Normally I visit your country every 2 months. Now it's been almost 4 months for me without going to Indonesia, and I hope to be able to go again and to meet my students and the families again very, very soon. Okay, so let me share the screen with you, a short presentation about our programs, okay, and about some highlights about why we believe studying in Spain is a good election, and what are the scholarships and what are the financial benefits of choosing Spain to study abroad. I know this session is focused on scholarships, so I will also try to focus on scholarships. Also because we know the times we have right now due to the COVID-19, the economic situation of many families, is more complicated and uncertain. And many students think that this is not a good moment to go abroad because of the financial aspects as well. So this is a good moment for students to get to know a little bit more about Spain as a destination for education, because it is one of the most affordable and the most cost-effective study abroad options in the world. Okay, so I think it's a good moment that maybe you did not hear about Spain and you did not consider Spain to study abroad. But given the current circumstances and the cost effectiveness of this option, this is a good moment just to learn a little bit more about it. So Campus Spain is an organization which promotes Spain as destination for education. We don't represent any specific university. We just help international students to make it possible for them to come to Spain, learn the language, and then study at any university they choose. Okay, we are endorsed by the local government and we receive support from Spanish embassies, so also from Spanish consulate in Jakarta. Okay. So here are some basic highlights, some basic information about Spain as a country. So basically, we are talking about one of the most developed countries in the world with the solid economy, very solid democracy, and also one of the safest countries in the world and in Europe. So after my presentation, you will be able to ask all the questions you want to Zhillan, to our student. So he would probably be able to give you this his perception of safety in Spain. But objectively, the crime rate and all safety issues in Spain are excellent. We have never had any kind of safety incident happening to any of our students. It's a very, very safe country, and students can feel very safe. Boys, girls, during the day, during the night, it's always safe. Spain also has, according to many rankings, the third best health system and hospital system in the world. That's why when a very big outbreak of coronavirus took place in Europe, Spain was hit very severely, but was able to control the situation quite quickly, because the capacity of Spanish hospitals is very, very high. And according to international rankings, we have the third best healthcare system in the world. Okay. So now some nice things. So I visit Indonesia very often and always talk to the students. And these are the things that normally all students from Indonesia know about Spain, okay? So of course we have sports, we have football, we have Real Madrid or Barcelona. We also have Netflix and La Casa de Papel, the Money Heist, the very, very famous series coming from Spain. But the reason why I'm showing you those images now is that this is not only some fun stuff that comes from Spain. These are also future possible educational and professional paths for our students. So if you decide to study in Spain, that's a perfect country to specialize in sports management, in becoming a coach. There are programs to become football coach, or in audiovisual communication and filmmaking. The only production hub of Netflix in Europe is based in Madrid, in Spain. So many students who know those things about Spain would be choosing Spain to specialize in sports sector or entertainment sector. So these are some more images about Spain. So just to give you an idea of the culture, of the lifestyle, of the weather, we have amazing and hot summer, but we also have winter where there are parts of Spain where you can actually learn how to ski. And now what you can see on your screens are companies that have one important thing in common. All the companies you can see on your screens right now are Spanish companies. So Zara, for example, is a Spanish company. It's actually from this part of Spain where we are right now. Real Madrid and Barcelona, apart from being famous football teams, are also huge companies that hire thousands of people all over the world. So I'm showing you those logos because these are future employers of the students who decide to study in Spain, who decide to learn the language. Some of those companies actually contact us and ask for students coming from Indonesia, speaking Bahasa Indonesia, who have graduated from Spanish university, especially from business or engineering related fields, and would like to work for them. So these companies are present in Indonesia, these companies are present in Southeast Asia and are looking for local professionals to occupy managerial positions, knowing Spanish and Spanish culture, but also coming from the Indonesian background. So this is a huge opportunity for your professional future if you choose studying in Spain. So here on the map, you can see all Spanish universities. Campus Spain can be your pathway to absolutely any university in Spain, okay? So we have 50 public universities in Spain distributed all over the country. We will focus on those public universities today because these are the universities that offer very high scholarships for the students. But just for your information, there are also 35 private universities in Spain. These are more costly, but also it is possible to access those universities through Campus Spain programs. Okay, let's move to the first big advantage, also economical advantage of studying in Spain. So if you decide to study in Spain, you will not only be choosing a country, which is a wonderful and enjoyable country, but you are also choosing a continent. And it's important to know what advantages students get if they choose Europe, okay? So first of all, your visa to Spain, your student visa to Spain will allow you to move freely all over Europe, which means that you can go for a short stay to France, Germany, Netherlands. You don't need any extra visa or any extra permits just to visit those countries. Moreover, with Spanish universities, they issue diplomas that are automatically recognized in 49 countries of the European higher education area. So all the countries you can see on the map in blue are a part of European higher education area. And if you study in Spain, they will automatically recognize your diploma. So these are the countries where you can seek for master's, PhD, or for a job as well. Also, degrees from Spanish universities are very easily recognized by all Indonesian institutions. And finally, moving to scholarships, there is one more important advantage of studying in Spain. Spain belongs to the European Union, and all students studying in Spain, included students from Indonesia, are entitled to benefit from Erasmus scholarship. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that once you started a university in Spain, for example, in Madrid, let's say you study business in Madrid, or mathematics in Seville, as Zhillan will do, you take the first year of your degree in Spain, the second year in Spain, but for the third year of your studies, you can go to Germany or you can go to Netherlands and take 1 year of your degree in this other European Union country. During this year, European Union will award you a scholarship that covers your cost of living. So your apartment and your meals will be covered by the European Union. You won't be needing money to cover your cost of living during this year abroad from Spain. Okay, very quickly, please take a look at some highlights of the rankings of Spanish universities. When you check rankings for Spanish universities, always go to rankings by subject because this is where you will find most of Spanish universities. Here, for example, you can see that Spanish universities are especially highly ranked for all types of engineering, sports science, veterinary, and hospitality, tourism and hospitality management. We also have some of the best business schools in the world here in Spain. Okay, moving to the language. The official language in Spain is Spanish. Everybody on the streets and in the university uses mostly Spanish. And Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world. So number one, in terms of people using this language, is Chinese, Mandarin, okay? And the second most spoken language in the world is Spanish. So in the world, there are more people speaking Spanish than English. And that's a huge advantage and a huge benefit for your professional future. On this map, you can see 21 countries in the world where Spanish were exactly the same language. Spanish language is an official language. You can use Spanish in 21 countries. That's what makes it the second most spoken language in the world. But if you take a look at this map here, you can see that all the countries marked in green, in all those countries, Spanish is the most popular foreign language to learn. So you also see that there are many countries in Southeast Asia region where students already realized how useful for the future is learning Spanish. And already a lot of students all over the world learn Spanish. Just the last highlight regarding the language that is very illustrative. Right now in the United States, there are approximately 20% of people speaking Spanish, but it is predicted that by 2015, so in 30 years, more than half of people living in the United States of America will be Spanish speakers. So the companies based in the US or coming from the US are also very determined to hire professionals who speak Spanish. Okay, so now the last and the most important advantage of learning Spanish, which is the access to scholarships. On the circle you can see right now on your screens, the yellow color illustrates private universities in Spain. I have told you at the beginning, we have 35 private universities here in Spain. So there are some private universities, not all of them, but there are some private universities that teach in English. They use English as the language of instruction. Those universities are private universities, which means that the students and their parents pay 100% of tuition fees for their studies by themselves. So normally yearly tuition fees in those private universities start with 10,000, 11,000 euro per year, which is very expensive. Now, all the universities you can see in the green field are public universities. And public universities in Spain will be using mostly Spanish because it is an official language here in Spain. But if you join a public university in Spain, Spanish government will be paying up to 90% of your tuition fees, which means that yearly tuition fees in a public university in Spain to be paid by the students, also by students from Indonesia, starts with 600 euro per year. So to give you an idea, 600 euro per year, it's approximately 12 million rupias. This is the total cost of 1 year, 2 semesters in a public university in Spain. So how those tuition fees distribute depends on the local government of each Spanish region. So depending on the local government, the percentage of a scholarship can be different. In all the regions you can see on the map in green, yearly tuition fees are between 600 and 1,500 euros per year. This refers both to bachelor's degree and master's degree. The regions in yellow, it's a little bit higher. That would refer especially to Barcelona region. And finally, the region in orange is mostly Madrid. Studying in Madrid is more costly, but still cheaper than any private university. So how do I get the admission to a public university in Spain for a bachelor's or for a master's? And how do I benefit from this scholarship from Spanish government? This scholarship is automatic, which means that once you get an admission to bachelor's or to master's, automatically those subsidized, those low tuition fees will apply. You don't need to apply extra for scholarship. We guarantee 100% sure that if you get the admission to university, you will also get the scholarship. So how to get the admission to the university? There is one basic requirement, which is common for bachelor's or master's studies, which is you need a Spanish language certificate. You need to prove you speak Spanish, you understand Spanish, and you're capable to join university classes in Spanish. So this is the basic requirement. You don't have to learn Spanish in Indonesia, okay? We will explain a little bit later how to learn Spanish here in Spain. And then for the students targeting bachelor's degree, what we need is your high school diploma and your transcripts of records. And for the students targeting master's degree, we need your bachelor's degree diploma and your transcripts of records. Normally, there are no additional admission exam tests, no admission exams to join university in Spain. Only in case students want to improve their final high school score, they can sit for some additional exams before they join the bachelor's degree. But it's voluntary. It's possible to get admission to a university in Spain without taking any exams. So I know this year, national exam, the UN in Indonesia has been canceled. For your peace of mind, it's not a problem. The students are still eligible to join public university in Spain and to benefit from the scholarship from the Spanish government. Okay, so now I have told you that the most important requirement to get the scholarship is to know the language, to have the language certificate. So how do I learn Spanish? You don't need to start to learn any Spanish at all in Indonesia. Here is the scheme of a study in Spain program we propose to the students. So during the first year, which is actually first 10 months, students learn Spanish at Spanish LCA program at the University of Vigo here in Spain. And after that, students continue to the bachelor's degree, which takes 4 years, or if they have already studied bachelor's degree in the country, they go straight to master's degree. So what is Spanish LCA? Spanish LCA stands from language, culture, and adaptation to university. It is open for international students from all over the world who wish to acquire the language certificate, who wish to learn Spanish, to continue their bachelor's or master's studies in a Spanish public university with the scholarship. So the first part of the program is the language. Students learn Spanish at the State University of Vigo. They go from A1 up to B2 level of Spanish, taking university classes, taking classes at the University of Vigo, Centro de Lenguas, Language Center there. Language Center of University of Vigo is considered one of the best language centers to teach Spanish to international students in Spain. And they are being very effective. So maybe if you ask Zhillan to speak some Spanish at the end of the session, he will be proving that himself. So apart from language, Spanish LCA is also about the culture. Spain is a very enjoyable country with beautiful places, wonderful museums, wonderful sports facilities, and great cuisine. So we want our students also to enjoy the country. During the course, there are many cultural activities conducted, such as Spanish cooking class, such as going to museums, taking some workshops in museums, trips to other countries, to other cities and countries, because we also visit Portugal, and many, many more. All those activities are meant to expose students to the culture and to the language. So they learn the language while they enjoy, not only in the library. And finally, Spanish LCA stands from adaptation to university, because we help all our students to choose the best university for them. We inform them about all the universities available in all Spanish cities, all the scholarships available. Then we help them to choose the best option for them. And then we make sure that they get the admission to the university for the bachelor's or for the master's studies. So we take care of all the procedures or the paperwork needed so that the students can focus on their Spanish and on enjoying Spain during their first year in the country. So as I have mentioned at the beginning, Spanish LCA program is delivered by the University of Vigo. So the city of Vigo is here in the north of Spain, at the Atlantic Ocean, very close to the border with Portugal. We're not in Madrid, we're not in Barcelona. I know these are the most famous Spanish cities, If students decide to continue to Madrid or to Barcelona or to Seville or some other famous city in Spain after Spanish LCA, that's of course possible. And we believe it's a better moment to change to such a big city once you know the language and once you already know how the country works, how is the lifestyle in the country, you will be prepared to live in a big city like that. So why Vigo? Vigo is considered one of the safest cities in Spain. So it's a very friendly environment for the students to slowly adapt to living abroad and to learn the language. It's a small city, it's a medium-sized city according to Spanish standards. So we have 300,000 inhabitants, out of which 22,000 are students, which means it's very easy for our students to feel they live in a university city and to make a lot of friends from all over the world. What do we do for the students? So how do we help you with this transition of leaving Indonesia, coming all the way to Europe to start your studies here? We will not leave any of our students alone at any point. So before you arrive to Spain, we will help you with your admission. We will also help you and instruct you on how to get your student visa. Once our students arrive to Spain, we wait for them at the airport. We pick them up from the airport and take them to their accommodation, which is previously arranged for all our students. We open the bank account for our students, give them the SIM card. So even from the airport, they can call their parents and inform they have arrived safe and sound. And finally, during the first year in Spain, we provide students with the medical insurance, 24/7 emergency contact, and we make sure that their university application is done correctly and that once Spanish LCA program is over, they can continue to bachelor's or master's studies with the scholarship from the Spanish government. So now coming back to the financial aspects, I want to show you a scheme that illustrates a distribution of costs of our study in Spain program, including the Spanish LCA part. So as you can see on the screens now, the first year in Spain, the Spanish LCA program, this preparatory language program, implies a bigger investment since this kind of programs are not yet subsidized by the government. Basically, the way the governments in Europe work is that they understand that they should be financing students and giving them subsidies once the students know the language. So first, you have to invest in the language, and then you enter the public education system and you benefit from the scholarships. So the regular price of Spanish LCA program is 7,500 euro. This price includes the tuition fees at the University of Vigo. It also includes all the outside the classroom activities, all those cultural activities, trips, football games, that's already included. It also includes all campus Spain assistance. So the visa application support, airport pickup, application to university for bachelor's or master, all of that is already included. And it also includes the medical insurance, private medical insurance for the students for the first year here in Spain. With regards to the cost of living in Spain, as you can see on your screens right now, Spain is one of the most affordable countries in terms of cost of living. So even if you compare to our neighbor France, you can see that, for example, accommodation, which is the most important part of a student's budget, in Spain is approximately 300 euros, while in France it's 750, so it's more than a double. International students in Spain can have part-time jobs, so it's possible and it's allowed for the students to work up to 20 hours per week, which in case of some of our students is enough to cover your cost of living by yourself without needing help of your parents for that. This is basically the most important part regarding the finance. After I finish my presentation, we will be also happy to answer any questions regarding some further possible scholarship schemes and how to get them, okay? Before I finish, just a very brief update of the situation of COVID-19 here in Spain right now. So we've been talking to many students from Indonesia these days, And some of them have this idea that maybe they should not start this year. They should start in some private university in Indonesia, spend quite a lot of money on that, and wait for one more year before they arrive to Spain. But to be honest with you, also, in case of Indonesia, most of our students who have enrolled for October intake of our program are still coming. So there will be more than 20 students from Indonesia joining Spanish LCA this October. What did we do for the students to make it possible for you guys to still join Spanish LCA for this October 2020 intake, so that you don't lose 1 year of your academic life studying in a private university or taking a gap year in the middle of the world crisis, okay? So the idea is that you can apply for the program now. There are no application fees involved, and you can decide if you will eventually join or not later on. So you still have some time to monitor the situation and make sure that the situation in Europe is safe and normal again. We will start the next batch of Spanish LCA program on 5 of October 2020, which means we don't start in July, we don't start in August. We just want to give our students more time to prepare and to feel safe and confident, you know, get used to the situation and feel that it's actually safe to come to Spain. Finally, we will also give our students a possibility of starting Spanish LCA in October 2020 online and coming to Spain later in November, December, or January. So if by October your parents do not feel confident about you traveling all the way to Europe, you can start online in Indonesia and join us until January 2021, which gives you some extra time, but you don't lose 1 year, okay? About the pandemic situation in Spain right now, there are some small local outbreaks which are controlled by the authorities, but there is no lockdown in Spain itself, no state of alarm, so everything is back to normal. In Vigo area where we are staying, there has been no community transmission case for more than 1 month right now. So basically, talking to the doctors, you can hear that although the precaution measures apply, although we are obliged to wear masks, there are no active COVID-19 cases in Vigo city since more than 1 month now. Finally, well, you can see these are our students after the lockdown in Spain. We have been in lockdown for 2 months. It has proven to be very effective. So you can see everybody's safe and sound. Nobody suffered COVID-19 out of our students or University of Vigo students. And now we're back on the streets, living our normal life, going to the beach, taking trips, meeting our friends, going to restaurants. Basically, everything is back to normal, but following some extra precaution measures, of course, as all over the world. But it is safe these days, that's for sure. Okay, so, well, that's just a short summary. I was showing to some students while the pandemic was still active in Spain of what the Spanish government did for international students during that time. So just to give you an idea, for example, those students who have lost their jobs because they were working in restaurants and the restaurants closed during the lockdown in April and at the beginning of May, those students received unemployment benefit, for example. So they still got some money to support themselves. Students got access to public healthcare, 24/7 emergency contact, and 1 year allowance to stay in Spain after they graduate. So imagine you graduate from university this year, you will be allowed to stay in Spain for 1 year just to look for a job or to create your own company. Once you have a job or you have your own company, the Spanish government will not imply any time restriction as to how long you can stay in Spain to live here and to work here. So basically, there is no stay back period. You can stay in Spain forever as long as you work, as long as you have your organized life here in Spain, you can stay. Nobody is going to ask you to leave. Nobody has asked any students to leave or not to come during the COVID neither. Students from all over the world, even if there are some restrictions on tourism coming from some countries right now in Europe, students from absolutely every country in the world are welcome and allowed into Spain anytime. Okay, so that's it from my side. I am sure there are many questions, so I'll leave the floor to Zhillan and to the question coming from YouTube.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Gosia, for your good explanation about how to study in Spain and the plus and the plus minus to study also in Spain. But I think we will go to the question after the session with Mr. Zhillan. Is that okay?
Perfect, wonderful.
Okay. So we're heading to discuss with Mr. Zhillan. Is it okay for you if we discuss it in bahasa? So our viewer that mainly in Indonesia could understand more about how to study in Spain. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, sure. Halo, Mas Zhillan. Buenos dias.
Ya. Buenos dias.
Oke, apa kabar Mas Zhillan? Sehat di sana?
Sehat, alhamdulillah.
Oke, kita bisa bilingual juga. Tergantung nanti Mas Zhillan ingin jawab dengan bahasa apa. Jadi saya dapat informasi Mas Zhillan di sini sedang LCA ya berarti ya?
Ya.
Sedang
LCA
LCA di Vigo ya?
Ya.
LCA di Vigo kurang lebih itu seperti tadi informasinya kurang lebih 1 tahun ya? Atau kurang lebih 10 bulan ya? 10 bulan. Lalu selama 10 bulan, lalu juga student placement. Dan kebetulan sudah dapat di Universidad Sevilla.
Yep.
Betul ya?
Ya.
Jadi mau tanya nih, apakah itu jalur pribadi atau itu jalur beasiswa atau bagaimana Mas Zhillan bisa sampai untuk studi ke Spanyol?
Sebenarnya saya cari sendiri, ketemulah kampus Spain ini. Ya saya memutuskan untuk pergi ke Spanyol dan belajar bahasa di Spanyol. Saya mulai belajar bahasa dari Oktober dan akan selesai bulan ini. Dan seperti yang Gosia bilang, seperti itu, rutenya. Saya bayar sebanyak itu untuk program LCA ini. Dan nanti saya melanjutkan di Sevilla dengan tuition fee yang kurang lebih 800 setahun. Ya.
Oke, berarti ini studi S1-nya ya, dengan jurusan Bachelor of Mathematics, betul ya?
Ya.
Oke, dengan ekspektasi lama studi adalah kurang lebih 4 tahun.
Ya, 4 tahun.
Betul ya. Kalau untuk studi di sana sendiri, Mas, apakah tetap memakai sistem tugas akhir atau bagaimana?
Ya, setahu saya seperti itu. Karena saya juga belum belajar di Universitas Sevilla, saya belum tahu. Saya tahunya juga berdasarkan student-student yang udah belajar. Ada teman juga yang lagi belajar di Universitas Vigo, dan seperti itu tugas akhir dan per tahun ada ujian per semesternya seperti biasa.
Oke, bagaimana dengan kehidupan sehari-hari? Bagaimana dengan mungkin bisa berbagi dengan teman-teman, karena kita mungkin teman-teman yang Muslim, bagaimana kalau ingin studi ke Spanyol, Mas? Apakah ada kendala atau bagaimana sejauh ini untuk bisa overcome dari problem ataupun hal-hal yang ada?
Alhamdulillah ya, di Vigo ini ada masjid, walaupun cuma satu, tapi kota Vigo nggak besar, kecil, nggak jauh dari mana-mana, bisa jalan. Transportasi umum di sini ada bus, dan kegiatan setiap hari di sini tinggal di apartemen, karena orang-orang di Eropa tinggal di apartemen, atau kita tinggal di apartemen share gitu. Terus ya semenjak COVID ini, saya mulai lockdown itu awal Maret, seingat saya, dan selama 3 bulan itu lockdown, dan semakin lama semakin melonggar. Dan mulai dari Maret juga kemarin saya mulai kelas itu di online, sedangkan dari Oktober sampai Februari saya kelas di Universitas, belajar sama gurunya langsung dan berbicara langsung. Gitu.
Oke. Sejauh ini selama kemarin mendalami LCA ataupun Spanish Proficiency Language itu ya, bagaimana challenge yang muncul selama ini di Vigo ataupun di Spanyol secara general?
Gini ya, untuk bahasa Spanyol saya sangat menyarankan buat orang Indonesia, karena bahasa Indonesia sama bahasa Spanyol cara bacanya sama. Kalau bahasa Indonesia itu baca dan tulisan dan pengucapan itu sama, begitupun dengan bahasa Spanyol, A dibaca A, E dibaca E. Pembacaannya pun sama kayak bahasa Indonesia, cuma beberapa huruf doang yang berbeda pengucapan atau pronunciation. Untuk kesusahan, ya paling karena bahasa Indonesia itu simple dan ini termasuk bahasa kayak dari branch dari Latin, mereka bahkan agak lebih banyak grammarnya. Itu aja sih. Cuman berdasarkan saya belajar ini selama 10 bulan, murid yang dari Indonesia lebih baik lah daripada beberapa murid yang dari negara lain. Nah, termasuk lebih mudah untuk kita untuk mendapatkannya itu.
Oke,
Apalagi
baik.
kalau udah belajar bahasa Inggris, kalau bahasa Inggrisnya bagus dan itu
Ya,
lebih
betul.
mudah.
Karena memang bahasa Spanyol dan bahasa Indonesia masih satu rumpun ya, bahasa Latin ya. Jadi kita lebih mudah dalam penulisan dan juga pengucapannya, betul ya.
Ya.
Karena memang teman-teman yang dari apakah Jepang ingin ke Spanyol ataupun Arab ingin ke Spanyol agak susah untuk mempelajari bahasa penulisannya, penulisan Latin kembali dan lain-lain. Nah, ini Mas mau tanya lagi, selama di LCA itu berarti fokus untuk studi saja, belum diperkenankan apakah itu ada bisa bekerja part-time dan lain-lain. Itu bagaimana sistem kalau part-time di sana?
Saya punya teman yang kerja part-time di salah satu restoran di Vigo. Jadi kita bisa part-time di sini, kita harus apply untuk kayak kartu kerja. Jadi kita layak kerja untuk di sini, dan setelah itu kita bisa kerja, bisa nyari kerja. Teman saya jadi delivery satu restoran, dan di LCO course ini sebenarnya ada 4 level dan kita harus selesaiin dari A1, A2, B1, B2. Dan biasanya universitas untuk S1 kita hanya butuh B1, dan untuk master dan beberapa bachelor degree yang lain kita butuh B2. Sebenarnya ada 4 level itu di selama LCA course ini.
Oke, I see. Berarti minimal the minimum requirement untuk language-nya adalah B1 ya?
Ya.
Betul ya. Oke. Berarti tapi mungkin nggak ya ada yang di Indonesia? Jadi mungkin sebelum teman-teman ingin berangkat, mungkin ada juga yang ingin persiapan di Indonesia. Apakah is it possible dari Mas Zhillan? Ada informasinya mungkin?
Pas saya datang ke sini, saya belum tahu apa-apa tentang Spanyol, tentang bahasa Spanyol, dan untuk orang Indonesia untuk permulaan itu gampang nangkapnya, tapi setahu saya bisa juga, cuman bukan dari kampus Spen, dan menurut saya nggak apa-apa juga kalau nggak usah ngambil kayak precaution untuk belajar duluan daripada course ini sebelum mulai, karena ini dimulai dari A1, mulai dari pengejaan dan cara bacanya, dan udah lengkap daripada kita harus ngulang lagi, sama aja.
I see. Oke, mungkin kita ingin lanjut langsung ya ke sesi question and answer. Oke, is that okay, Mas Zhillan? Nanti akan banyak pertanyaan. There will be more questions to answer, whether for Campus Spain and also Mas Zhillan. Okay, I think I already received one question in YouTube. It's from Shakira Wijaya. So Shakira would like to ask, she is currently a senior in Indonesian high school. She plans to do her bachelor degree next year in Spain, and her current Spanish level is B1. What steps should she take next?
Okay, so it's very important to know if Shakira, if I understood the name correctly, if she has an official Spanish language certificate, because her B1 level should be certified by a DELE certificate, okay, or some other official certificate from a Spanish institution. So if she took B1, for example, in Instituto Cervantes, or she took DELE exam, then all she needs is B2. So probably in 1 year time, she can reach B2 level and she will be good to come to Spain. Right now, there are some universities that admit students with B1 level, but that will be changing. And very soon for all Spanish universities, students will need solely the B2 level of Spanish. And we need an official language certificate for that. So if you manage to acquire this language certificate, official language certificate in Indonesia, there is no need to join Spanish LCA. You can go straight to bachelor's degree, and you can also contact Campus Spain and we will help you with that. Now, if you, for example, have an A2 certificate or B1 and you still want to reach B2 in Spain because you think it's more effective in immersion living in the country, Spanish LCA program is also open for students who already reached some prior level in their countries. So you can join Spanish LCA for shorter, only for B1 or only for B2 level. The University of Vigo will conduct an online exam to establish your current level of Spanish, and you will be invited to join Spanish LCA only, for example, for B2 level. That's also possible. Of course, in this case, the Spanish LCA will be shorter and also cheaper. Of course, the tuition fees will be reduced accordingly. So it's possible.
Okay, so it's possible to do that. And also, what this Gosia said before that, we need to make sure about the certificate legally, right? Because
yes,
the one that will be recognized from the Spanish government, also Spanish institution, is from Delhi.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. I also received one of the questions from my friends. How many Indonesian students currently studied in Spain, if you have the data, and what is their favorite major to study?
So if you allow me, Gosia, I can go for this one. The official statistics from the government say that currently in Spain, we have 148 Indonesians. Here with us in Vigo, we're expecting for the next intake in October to receive between 20 to 25. It depends on the COVID situation. Okay, so from this 148, you will be finding students on a bachelor degree, on a master level, on a PhD. Normally, students from the nation that are coming to Spain, the preference is to study business or tourism or something related to those fields. But you can find any kind of student applying for any kind of bachelor or master. For example, Zhillan is here with us, and she will be doing mathematics in Sevilla for the next year. What I'm trying to say is that year by year, we receive more and more students. We started to promote Spain in Indonesia 4 years ago, when we only have 20 to 30 students from Indonesia and Spain. After 4 years, we have 148. This is the official statistic from the government. And it's growing, this number, right? In the past, students coming to Spain were in other kind of programs like for cinema or specialized architecture program, something related to this very concrete field. But nowadays, we have students applying to any kind of bachelor or master, and year by year, it's growing this figure, right? So hopefully, in October, situation here is back to normal. For sure, next year it will be, and we hope to receive many more students from Indonesia.
Okay, so I see that my friends from the I think its name UCAM also favorited in sports management.
Yeah.
Is that right? Because
Yes.
Because we know that Spain is one of the countries that really excel in their sports, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and also the La Liga team. That's one of the main attractions to study in Spain. But
Also fashion design is a very
yeah.
popular degree here in Spain because of Zara, which belongs to a bigger company called Inditex, and brands like Farah or Pull&Bear or Stradivarius, this kind of brands for youngsters, they're from here, from Spain. And you can find this kind of programs of fashion design in many different universities. Also very popular.
Okay. So sports management, fashion design, and I see that engineering also one of the most favorite major. So tell me, what kind of engineering that the Spain university focused on?
If you remember the presentation of Ms. Gosia, she explained that in Spain we have 50 different public universities and 35 different private universities. So you can find any kind of program in the Spanish universities. Okay, for example, it depends on the program that you want to study. If you tell me that you want to study architecture, for example, we will be guiding you to those specific universities who are better positioned on the ranking for architecture. For example, in Barcelona, Madrid, or in Coruña or Sevilla. This is how we help the students, right? They come to us, they say to us, oh, I want to study this specific field. So we show them where they can apply. You can study, just to focus on your question, you can study any kind of engineering in Spanish universities. The idea of the universities here in Spain is to teach people in anything, right? So the offer of the Spanish universities is not constructed upon the basis of the demand, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the Spanish universities offer everything. It does not depend on how many people is applying. For example, in Coruña, which is a university like 2 hours from this city, they offer architecture. They offer 200 places in architecture every year, but they only receive 100 students. Okay, so in the mindset of a private university, if you receive 100 students, you will be offering 100 places. But in the mindset of the public university, it does not depend on how many people is applying. It depends on what the government is asking them to offer. So this is why every year they offer more and more places in the university. For example, here in Vigo, the university is very well positioned on rankings for engineering, concretely in telecommunications or informatics engineering. In Sevilla, for example, where Zhillan is going to be studying, they are very good universities, for how do you call it, aeronautical and aerospace engineering. You know that in the world there are two big companies building and constructing airplanes. This is Boeing, coming from the US, and Airbus, coming from Europe. So close to the University of Sevilla is a very big factory of Airbus. This is why they have decided to teach aeronautics, right? So this is mainly the idea of a Spanish university, offering every kind of program.
Okay, so the point is each of the universities have their unique and also favorite major. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we are back to the YouTube question. We have Wira here to ask about where to study. I'm sorry. For Spanish language, should we have it first in Indonesia or can we get it in Spain during LCA? So back in Gosia presentation and also Mr. Zhillan insight earlier, it's recommended that students to study in Spain for the language proficiency. Is that right? But how is there any place in Indonesia that is legally documented from the Spain government to learn Spanish language?
Yeah, the government of Spain has this Instituto Cervantes, okay, which is similar to British Council, okay, but British Council is from the English government. So we have the Instituto Cervantes, which is an official institution promoting Spanish culture and Spanish language abroad. Right? So you can find this Instituto Cervantes in the Embassy of Spain. Instituto Cervantes is the official institution who teaches Spanish under the DELE certificate, which Gosia has previously commented, right? So as probably Mr. Zhillan taught in Bahasa Indonesia, it's recommended to come to Spain to study the language because here in Spain, you will be placed on the environment, right? So coming from Indonesia with 0 level, you will be able to reach B2 level in only 10 months. Actually, sometimes we can even make it in 7 months in our second intake, which is more, how you call it, more intense, right? But in 10 months, you will be able to reach from 0 up to B2. In our experience, learning the language in Indonesia or the country of origin, where we come from, they need a longer period of time, right? Because here in Spain, you are 24 hours forced to speak Spanish. If you want to buy a nasi, you have to go to the supermarket. You need to use the Spanish word, right? You have to say arroz. Every day, you need to use the Spanish. But in Indonesia, you will be learning the language in a very intensive program, maybe 2 hours per week or 4 hours or 8 hours per week. The rest of the time, you will be speaking Bahasa Indonesia. But just to answer your question completely, you can study Spanish in the Instituto Cervantes, in the Embassy of Spain. They offer very affordable programs. And as Gosia explained at the beginning, we collaborate with the embassy. So if the students here need the contact of the Instituto Cervantes, we can facilitate this.
I see. So it's Cervantes in Embassy of Spain.
Yes.
So, but is there any online class that the Cervantes already enrolled first? Any online class?
Currently, due to the COVID situation, they are providing the online classes. When the situation is back to normal, they will resume the classes in the classroom. But Cervantes, as well, they have an online program every year, right? Even before this pandemic situation. You can study the program, the Spanish program with Cervantes online. Yeah.
Okay. So we have from Shakira again.
Very nice name.
I have a question from Shakira again. I have A2 and will take Dele B1 this November. If so, can I still do the LCA program with Campus Spain? And could you help Shakira to apply to the university? Now, that is the interesting point. Where to contact the Campus Spain team?
Okay, so yes, of course, Shakira, you could probably join for, even if you pass B2 in doing Dela in Indonesia, it's still a good idea for you to sit for the online assessment of the University of Vigo. Maybe they decide it's a good idea for you to join in the middle of B1, for example, the second part of B1 and B2, because we have noticed that the level of students coming with B1 from other countries comparing to B1 of students who have learned in immersion is higher. I mean, the level of the students who have learned here in Spain is higher. So probably it just let us contact us when you reach your B1. We will arrange for you to get the assessment done by the University of Vigo, and they will help you to decide which moment exactly of the Spanish LCA program you should join, okay? And now to stay in touch with us. We know that today we only gave you the first glimpse of how Spain works as a study abroad destination, and you still need to know more details. You need to think about this and contact us again with your questions about your specific degree or your specific master. So of course we are here to help, and it's absolutely free for you. There will be no fees, no any kind of obstacles for you, just to reach us and ask all the questions you have about Spain, about the universities here, about the specific degrees and majors you're interested in. So you can reach us. I'll ask Mr. Gonzalo to write our contact data in the chat. So you're going to have our email address, also my WhatsApp number. And I also want to encourage all the students watching this session to follow us on Instagram. The Instagram account of Campus Spain is just Campus Spain, simple as that. Because this is where we try to update our students day by day on the situation in Spain, on any possible scholarship opportunity. How is the life of our students? How are they doing? What universities they got admitted to? All this information is shared on Instagram, Campus Spain Instagram. So that would be great to keep in touch through this Instagram account as well. Of course, we have a website and also, yes, that's the last part you can see on the chat right now is my WhatsApp number. So feel free to reach us, but you can also text us through Instagram, no problem.
Okay,
yeah, and
thank you.
For any Indonesian student who want to ask me directly, yeah, I would gladly to help. I'll also put my number WhatsApp on, so maybe some Indonesian students want to hear directly from.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Thank
please.
you.
Is that okay if I put the contact number to the YouTube chat?
Of
Is
course.
that okay for you? Okay.
Of course.
Sure.
And Mr. Zhillan, please also put your WhatsApp number to the YouTube to the Zoom chat, and I will forward it to the YouTube chat. And one of the questions from Alivia from Banjarmasin, she's interested to study in Spain, but she's currently in her last year of bachelor degree, and she's expected to be graduated by next year, and she would like to ask in which month should she prepare to join for the university enrollment in Spain for master degree, and how can I get information about scholarship in Spain for master degree? I think I will give an explanation back again to Olivia about the scholarship, and it will be good to edit more information. So one of Olivia, if you could see one of the presentation before, one of the most prestigious scholarship in Europe is Erasmus Mundus, which is you will be provided to study master degree in Europe. If I'm not mistaken, it will be consist 2 university, right? 2 or 3 different universities. Is that right, Mr. Gonzalo?
Can you come again with the question? I didn't hear properly.
It's mainly about the information of scholarship information in Spain. I said it first. It's about Erasmus Mundus. And is there any scholarship information that could be Alivia targeted to?
Yeah. Okay. The idea about scholarships in Spain is different, as we were explaining, because the system of universities in Spain belongs to government. So, as I just said, the idea of the government is to provide education for everyone, to make it cheap and affordable for everyone. So, as Zhillan can help me here, once the student is enrolled in the university for bachelor or master, the student will already be granted a scholarship from the government. Right? So you can imagine the university in Spain should cost around 9,000 to 11,000 euros per year. But the student is only paying a small part of those fees, like 5–10% of those fees, because the rest of the fees will be automatically covered by the government. The way of the government to make it easy is like a student does not even need to apply for the scholarship. Okay, it's automatically granted. For example, the university where Zhillan will be studying next year in south of Spain is one of the most prestigious universities in Spain, and he will be only covering a small part of the tuition fees, which could be around 800 euros, okay, around 12 million rupiah per year, right? To apply for further scholarships is possible, but it's very complicated. For a bachelor degree, it's a little bit easy than for a master degree, okay? If your grades are very good, you will be allowed to apply for further scholarships in the university already, right? Also, if the situation of your family is not sustainable, is not very good, you are allowed to let the university know about the situation, so they can provide you some scholarships, like to cover your meals or your residence, your housing in the city, right? Regarding the Erasmus is a scholarship more popular for between bachelor degree students, right? This is about studying 1 year abroad, right? So students from Indonesia studying in Spain, after the second year of bachelor degree, they can apply very easily in the university to get this scholarship to move to a different country in Europe, right? Regarding scholarships, every university has a special department, special office that helps students with these matters, right? As well to help the students with a job placement, for example, okay? Universities in Spain are very accessible, so you just find the office there that you are aiming for, and they will help you with this kind of things, okay? In summary, getting a scholarship for a Spanish university is very easy at the beginning, right? But you still have to cover a small part of the fees. To find a scholarship to cover this part of the fees is more complicated already, but it's still possible, right? So you could be trying to apply in the university for some further scholarships, or private foundations, like, for example, one of the big banks in Spain is Banco Santander. Banco Santander is very engaged with the university, and they offer a kind of a scholarship or loans for international students. Right, so the option is always there, and in every single university there is an office that helps with these kind of things. It's called like the student office for these kind of matters.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalo, for the explanation. I think Mr. Gosia would like to answer about which month that she would need to prepare for her master degree.
So there are 2 moments in the year where students can join Spanish LCA program. It's each October and each January, okay? These are the only 2 intakes we have. To join the October batch, we recommend students starting the application procedure by March. Okay, so by March 2021, please contact us if you wish to enter October 2021 batch. For January, that should be somewhere around May, June, the latest, okay? This year, given the circumstances, we have extended the application period, so it is still possible to apply for this October 2020 batch, because we know that this year making decisions so much in advance is very complicated. So if there is a student listening to us who thinks, oh, I would really love to join this year, but probably it's too late, it's not too late, it's still possible. So reach us as soon as possible if you're still considering joining for this October 2020. But if you're thinking about 2021, October 2021, please let us know around March 2021.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So there will be at least 6 months duration to prepare about the student preparation, whether it's bachelor degree, master degree, and also postdoctorate. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we also have a question from Artimas. If we fail for the LCA, should we take LCA again next year? And should we pay same amount of the tuition fee?
Can you repeat the question? It's if we fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, wow. No, don't worry. It's very, very difficult to fail Spanish LCA, because if you live in the country where everybody speaks Spanish, if you're exposed to 4 or 5 hours of Spanish language classes per day, it's very complicated to fail. So I do recognize and acknowledge that there are some students who struggle to reach B2 level, okay? But B1 level, we have never had a student who was not able to reach B1 level. As long as you go to classes, as long as you're always in the classroom, you will definitely pass B1 level. That's something we can guarantee, because this is our experience with the students. If you fail going to the classes, if you don't go to school, if you know, forget about your obligations as a student and you just stay at home or do trips around Spain instead of going to classes, you may have a problem. But as long as you go to the classes and assist your classes, it's not possible not to reach at least B1 level of Spanish.
So, if I can build up on Gosia's argument, let me tell you that the Spanish LCA is a program of language, culture, and adaptation to the university, right? So the student comes, he plays 7 to 10 months in the environment, learning the language, but also doing further activities outside the classroom. For example, last weekend, we took all the students to a very small city, where they are placed there in the local community, and we try to use Spanish as much as possible with them. They have to do things on the city sometimes, like as I told you before, going to supermarkets and these kind of things. So the language is designed to address these academic skills, but also the daily life skills for the language, right? It's a program 10 months learning the language. So it's very difficult to fail, since you will be placed here in the environment, going every day to classes, and classes are only to teach you the language, right? During this time, the students learn the language. We will be taking care of all procedures needed in order to apply for the university. So students come for 10 months to learn the language while we work on their application to the university. It's very difficult to fail the program, since the program is designed specifically to address the needs of students coming from Southeast Asia, right? As Zhillan can tell you, we receive students only from Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, India. And so the program is designed for this specific need, since we understand that people coming from other regions of the world, they need another kind of classes, right? So for the peace of mind of the students, we help the students to come to Spain and to succeed in the Spanish university, right? It's very difficult to fail the program, so the students should not have any kind of worry about this matter.
So if the student is lazy, I think he he will be failed to the class. So the main point is you need to just attend the class and also listening to the teacher and also fulfilling the obligation as a student, as Miss Gosia said before. Okay, I think
the student will not be getting the B2, but at least he will be getting the B1.
Okay, so at least B1 is the minimum requirement that will be for the students in Spain. Okay, I think we could take to another question. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Irhan Iranti, if I want to pursue master or doctoral degree and she don't have any Spanish, I'm sorry, she or he doesn't have any Spanish proficiency certificate yet, do I have to take the same step with the prospective bachelor students?
So, yes, if the student is targeting a public university where the tuition fees are with the scholarship, the language certificate will be a must. So yes, basically we do have in Spanish LC program, we have both students who will continue with bachelors and with masters. They're preparing exactly the same language certificate.
Okay, so she, Irhan will be required to attend the class also.
Yes.
And Irhan also asked, is there any age limit for applying to bachelor and master program in Spain? Is there any age limit about that?
There is no age limit. We interview every candidate, and as long as the student proves a genuine interest in becoming a university student, in continuing the university studies as a reason why they are coming to Spain, the students will be admitted. To give you an idea, of course, most of the students in Spanish LCA program are 18, 19 years old. They are targeting their bachelors. There are students targeting masters who are 23, 28 years old. But we do have one student this year students coming from Indonesia that are two girls that are almost 40. And they are targeting their master's degrees. They already admitted to a very good master's program for the next course. But they got admission to the program because they clearly proven their ambition and their motivation is to continue their studies. And they are more than welcome, and we are very happy to have them in our group.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. And Irhan would like to ask one more question. In case Irhan already gotten his or her bachelor degree in Indonesia, is that possible to take another bachelor degree again in Spain?
Yes, that's possible also.
Okay, that's good to hear, I think, Irhan. So I think if you think your bachelor degree in Indonesia, it's not prospective enough, yeah, you could.
Maybe he wants to change to another major. Of course, no problem. That's possible.
Yeah, I think he or she wants to join the sports management. Maybe wants to join the football in Barcelona or Real Madrid. I think that would be good enough for him or her. If I'm not mistaken about the sport, there is one of Indonesian athlete in. If I'm not mistaken, it's named Arthur Irawan. If you already ever heard about him. Arthur Irawan is one of the Indonesian athletes in one of the Class B team, in B team of the, if I'm not mistaken, is in football.
Zhillan, did you know about that?
Yeah, I think
I'm not watching football at all.
Oh, okay.
We will look for this athlete.
Who is it?
I mean, can you repeat the name? So we will trying to find this.
His name is Arthur Irawan. Arthur H Alpha Romeo Tango Hotel UR and Irawan. India Romeo, yeah, Irawan. If I'm not mistaken, he's still active as a footballer in Spain. So maybe
we will try to find him.
I think you could contact him also about Arthur.
Sure.
And one last question from Septiana Rizky. Is there any extension program for association degree to bachelor degree in Spain? So is that possible to transfer it from the association degree to bachelor degree?
I don't know if I understood correctly. Is it what is the degree, the first degree that you referred to that you want to transfer to Spain? Architecture.
No, it's associate degree is one rank before the bachelor degree in Indonesia. We call it D3.
Okay.
D3.
Okay. So to get admission to bachelor's degree here in Spain, what we do is what we need is 12 years of prior high school education in Indonesia. So as long as a student has graduated from SMA and has the final SMA diploma, which says Lulus, and has taken 12 years of prior education, this student is eligible to start bachelor's degree here in Spain. And if the student has taken some subjects in this associated degree, if I remember the name correctly, in Indonesia, there is a possibility of getting some credits transferred to the Spanish university and accelerate the degree in Spain, make it shorter, basically. But the main requirement to get into the Spanish university is the language certificate, and for bachelors, we need 12 years of prior high school education. So those students from Indonesia who have dropped the last year of SMA, who only took 11 years, being honest with you, your situation is a little bit more complicated. So we would have to check your academic documents very carefully to make sure if you're actually eligible to join bachelor's degree in Spain.
Okay, so there will be at least they need to provide the 12-year at least the student's experience. Okay, so the campus Spain right now is the office is in embassy, right? The office of the campus Spain.
We don't have a traditional office in Indonesia.
Okay.
When we visit Indonesia, Gosia and myself, normally we are in Indonesia every 2 months. Last time it was in early March. We are already deciding to come back to Jakarta, but so far it's not been possible. But every time we are in Indonesia, we visit schools or we try to meet the parents in a Spanish hotel, which is Melia in Kuningan in Jakarta, or any other city that we visit, like Surabaya or Denpasar, or we try to meet the families in there, but we don't have like a traditional office. Jakarta. Okay. Sometimes we meet the parents in the embassy. We can also do that since we have a tight collaboration with the embassy to promote the country as a destination for further education. But if students need to contact us, they can do online through WhatsApp or email. And when next time we go back to Jakarta or to any other city in Indonesia, we will try to meet them first.
Okay, that's a great information, Mr. Gonzalo, and also Ms. Gosia, about the study in Spain information, and also some of the scholarship programs that provided by the government and also from the Erasmus, right? So and also if I may add, if I'm not mistaken, also you also participate in EHF, right? The European Higher Education Fair in Indonesia. So that's one of the most prestigious event in Indonesia, and usually it will be held in 3 cities, right? Usually annually. So if I'm not mistaken, last year is in Jakarta, Bandung.
Jakarta and Bandung and Surabaya. I was there.
Bandung, Surabaya. Yeah, Jakarta, Bandung, Surabaya. So if one of the future students wants to meet with the campus Spain team, you could meet them there. And how about information this year, Mr. Gonzalo? Is there any information for EHF?
We are already enrolled to participate in a HEF in early November, but they still don't know if they will be allowed to do the presence fair or not. Unfortunately, I don't have this information yet. I have my fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can visit Indonesia late October, early November. And as soon I recommend you to try to follow on the social media this HEF and to be posted on that. Because as you said, it's a very good opportunity to meet us and for us to meet the students.
Okay, thank you for the information again about the information of EHEF. And this year EHEF, if it will be held in the future, it will be in 3 cities also.
Actually, this year they were planning to have in 4 cities.
4 cities.
It was, yeah, Bandung, Jakarta, Surabaya, and I guess Denpasar as well. But
Okay.
For Jakarta and Surabaya, is for
Okay.
sure.
Okay, so at least for the more information about Campus Spain, our friends in YouTube and also the public could follow Campus Spain Instagram.
Yes.
So they will you could reach them out and ask about any information that you need to study in Spain, and also we already leave the information about Miss Gosia WhatsApp and also her email to people to contact Miss Gosia. So I think that's our session that ended right now. It's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Indonesia, and also it's still early in the morning in Spain. And maybe any last words for our future student in Indonesia, Mr. Gonzalo and Miss Gosia, and also Mr. Zhillan, please.
Oh, please, Zhillan, say something to your.
I said it in bahasa only, right? Okay.
Okay.
Ya, untuk sebenarnya untuk yang ingin belajar di Spanyol, kampus Spain menyediakan ini belajar bahasa, dan untuk masalah biasanya kita masalah admisinya, dan di bagian nggak semuanya bisa admisi secara langsung. Beberapa untuk yang bachelor ya, karena saya daftar bachelor, beberapa harus dapat ujian. Tapi sebenarnya kalau punya nilai bagus, insya Allah bisa. Dan saran saya sebenarnya ya pastikan kalau tentang degree yang kalian inginkan, pastikan di Spanyol itu ada, dan prospek untuk kalian itu bagus di sana. Kalau ya pokoknya pastikan itu aja, searching di internet, dan pastikan kalau degree itu bagus dan possible untuk kalian. Dan ya dokumen-dokumennya itu yang biasanya meribetkan kalau untuk keluar. Pastikan dokumen-dokumennya itu rapi dan secara dilegalisasinya lewat embasi benar. Itu aja untuk saran saya untuk orang yang mau belajar ke Spanyol.
Okay, thank you, Mas Zhillan, for the insight for our friends in Indonesia who hopefully would be like to visit Spain, also to become one of the future students in Spain, whether it's in sports management, whether it's in a fashion, and also maybe engineering field, and also agricultural, if I'm not mistaken. And also another favorite major, unique favorite major in each of the universities. So I think that's all for our session today, and I hope that we are not out from the Zoom yet, because we need to do a photo session first. And as the moderator, I will say thank you for everyone in YouTube that will join us today, and hopefully you could join us again next week in another session. And please stay with us. Thank you and good day for you all.
Terima kasih.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Take
everyone.
care. See you in Spain.
Okay, I already cut the YouTube.